Yo, what's up everyone? I'm back. I got some Sonic music on in the background. I'm gonna just put my model on now. And then away we go. I like the Sonic music. I'm also using the bad mic at the moment because the really expensive one, for some strange reason, has been really crunchy recently in terms of sound quality, so I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that. Every review that I've read online is like, so yeah, after a while it just does that because they're really bad quality because of the Bluetooth or the radio signal or whatever, and I'm just like, oh great. So I'm gonna get down to work now. We're gonna check some stuff out, and I'll update you on some stuff because I've been having a grand old time. Is the best way of putting it. Hey, gassed it. No, you're not in it. I still don't have the file. Right, let's put the... There we go. Okay. So, I'm gonna be... Okay, so yeah, the mic's gonna sound a little bit far away, I think, or it might be peaking a little bit here. Yeah, since the last time I was on, not only did I try and fix the problems we were having with the server, try and turn this down, or I might even just turn it back on to Undertale yellow stuff, hang on. Because, like, I like my Sonic OST and everything, but it's not good for, like, chill streams. There we go. So yeah, someone asked me if they could have an old AU, and I'm drawing them again to say, nice! What happened to the Pope says, oh, they're still there. So yeah, since the last time, we had problems on the Kingdom Hearts streams, which hopefully I'm addressing, but the same rules apply from those streams, which is don't say one particular word in chat. I'm not going to mention which one it is, just for the sake of it, but it's going to sound stupid, but you risk actually getting completely banned if you mention it, so I don't want anybody to try it. Yeah, it's going to be really stupid if somebody says it on stream, so I don't want anybody to just, like, get banned trying it. Because then people will be like, dude, seriously, I can't get back onto your streams, and it'll be like, oh no. I don't have... Also, yeah, Nightbot's in chat here. Nightbot's showing up to help moderate stuff. So, I'm gonna have to potentially look into it not going as hard on people as it might maybe doing. But yeah, when did we have that annoying Nightbot? Nightbot came in to auto-moderate stuff, because we had somebody that was just coming in and saying a load of weird stuff, and some of it was trying to be funny, some of it sounded really cringy, and then some of it sounded racist, and I couldn't tell whether the person was being genuinely funny, like trying to be funny, or just being sad, you know. And the worst part is, I like freedom of speech for everybody. I like everybody trying to, you know, have complete freedom with what they want to say. But at the same time, that was pushing the boundaries, and I didn't want to go any further with that without some security. So if anybody wants to know what Nightbot is, it's specifically an automated moderator, so I don't have to worry as much. So yeah, you can still kind of act how you've been on previous streams. You just have to be careful because Nightbot is kind of sensitive. It doesn't know you guys like I do, so you just gotta be smart and not be doing any cringy memes or anything else or being racist. Basically, you've just gotta be a nice person, you know. But after that happened, when I was doing those streams for reference, and we were having a laugh at that, then I went ahead and tried to create some particle effects, and that kind of worked, kind of didn't, based on Kingdom Hearts. And for those who weren't there, the reason for this was I thought they would fit in terms of reference and just the overall look. And it kind of worked a little bit. And I got a little bit out of it, and I'm thinking of messing around and referencing stuff a little bit more in future and trying to make it look good. And then after that, what ended up happening was I basically got really ill. What ended up happening was I coincidentally got a really, or it seems like I got a really bad case of food poisoning at the same time as there's basically like an outbreak of a really bad virus in the UK. And yeah, I was just like, oh great, because I thought I had it, because like Friday evening, I was just completely gone. I was bedridden with a massive fever. I was throwing up constantly. It was not nice. I threw up about 6 or 7 times in a short period, to the point where it was making me really worried that I'd have to go to the hospital, especially because I've mentioned it a couple of times, because of my breathing problems. It makes it really worrying for me when I'm throwing up, because like other people will naturally breathe through their nose, and I can't do that because of my nose being constantly blocked because of my condition. So it means that I get really frightened. So yeah, I was throwing up almost non-stop for about four or so hours, until there was nothing left on my stomach, and there was just water there, and even then I was throwing up the water, and that was not good. And I had a really high fever to the point where I was literally dripping with sweat, and it just had me really worried. And the next day I was completely wiped out. Like, I was so fatigued afterwards, and I was still throwing up a little bit. And I ended up quarantining myself that night, because I didn't want to, if it was anything serious, give it to my family. So I actually left my home and went somewhere else, like to a family friend's. And that was rough for me, because I didn't get to see the baby or anything, and she was already asleep, so she didn't know I'd gone. And then, like, that day, I'd spent the entire day in bed, more or less, just bedridden, trying to drink and get the fluids back that I'd lost. And that was rough, because I didn't feel like I wanted to drink or even eat. And then the Sunday, after I'd tried sleeping a lot of Saturday, the Sunday I felt a bit better. Not like 100%, but at least a little bit better, so I went back home, and the baby was really happy to see me, and Jen was really happy to see me, so I was happy at that, at least, you know. So it's something. But yeah, I've had it rough. So it was nice seeing her excited to see me. She like took a moment to look at me, and she's like, "Is that Dad?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she just started giving me like the happy anime eyes, you know, the ones that are like upwards V's. Yeah, it was so adorable. So I was super happy after coming back home, and I've been recovering today and yesterday as well, and I'm feeling a lot better. Like, I wouldn't be streaming if I wasn't, but oh my god, it wasn't nice. I've never had food poisoning before either. I've seen like Jen have it before, but this was totally different for me, because like, again, as I was saying, I absolutely hate throwing up. It scares me really, like, loads. It's the one thing that scares me more than anything else. And whenever I do end up throwing up when I'm ill, I normally end up asking somebody to at least stand outside the door or whatever, like, not watch me or anything, but like, just keep an ear out, because like, if I end up throwing up and then I have trouble, like something gets stuck or whatever, or, you know, I can't breathe, well then I'm gonna need help. So yeah, that's always a worry for me. But yeah, a lot better now. So during the Monday was when I started experimenting with like stuff again, and I think it was before Friday I've been experimenting with stuff. I've been really silent on like updates and things. That's when you know I'm cooking real hard, when I'm not mentioning anything. So I put up like a few posts saying, yeah, I'm working really hard on stuff, it's looking really good, and then that's about it. So I thought I'd do this tiny update to keep people in the know and just to talk about a couple of things for the project, especially because there's been some like weird things recently going on, so I thought I'd just clarify and see what people thought after we get everybody up to date. Hey Sailor! This face. It was this. This face. I'm gonna take another 2-month map. God damn it, Gaster. At least lurk in the background. Yeah, the baby was doing that face and kicking like mad, like kicking her legs. You know, so... But yeah, to finish up with the whole like throwing up thing again, I explained it on the Immersiontale Discord to the entire cast and staff, but basically what was happening, like with my condition, because my nose is constantly blocked as a result of like a really stupid thing happening ages ago where one of my employers was messing around with biofuel, something that they shouldn't have been doing. It's actually blocked my nose permanently, and it just makes it so I can't breathe through it. And as you can kind of tell, that's terrifying when you also suffer from asthma, because like they tell you, you know, like, if you're having any trouble or whatever at any point in time, just breathe through your nose or whatever, you'll be fine. Or a load of other places, if you've got different problems, will be like, oh yeah, just breathe through your nose, you'll be fine. But the thing is, if I'm already low on, like, breathing, like, if I'm already trying to breathe and having problems and I'm gasping, and then they're telling me to breathe in through my nose, that's practically impossible. And, so it leads me into situations where, like, when I'm throwing up, I'll have to finish throwing up in one big go, otherwise I'm gasping for air in between, and if I'm not getting that air, I'm throwing up stuff and getting frightened while I'm throwing up, and it's literally me just trying to go as fast as possible. It's terrible to mention this stuff, but yeah, imagine how frightened you would be if you have to throw up everything in your stomach in one go, or in between breath, like in between throwing up bits, you're having to gasp for like any little bit of air that you can and then go again. It's yeah, it's not a nice experience. It's a terrifying one every single time it happens for me. So I don't obviously like being ill as a result. But yeah, anyway. Immersiontale, what's been happening? I've been doing a lot of demo scenes. I've been putting a lot of like animation together and doing stuff. Going over feedback of like different things. And it's been interesting for me because I've been happy with the demo scenes and everything. But I've been given another deadline and I don't know whether I want to even work towards it or not because of just how hard I'm cooking right now. And also, some of the feedback has made me kind of confused. I misread the title and picture Methods Undress tutorial. So, yeah, I got confused because, like, basically over the course of streams, you'll have heard me say, like, I want to dial back the players' sort of involvement in the overall narrative. And the truth is, the reason why I was doing that is because I don't want to annoy the fan base. And a lot of people will know, like, fan bases can be really nasty. And because I was seeing pushback, I was like, oh, I'll just do this a different way, and maybe that'll be okay. Or maybe this way, maybe that way. And I was dialing it back and back and back, and you can see that over multiple streams, where I'm dialing it back as much as I can until the point where the player is no longer there. And then I talked about this recently when I was talking to another creator, and I was like, look, this is my idea I've had, I want to know what you think, storyline-wise. And when they were saying, like, oh, this is really cool, I like the idea that you're going with, because this could go so many different ways and open up new branches for like, new AUs and people to do different things. And I'm like, oh, I really like the sound of that, because I never thought about that before, so it kind of, it branches off and does its own thing. I really like that, because it gives people a different way to experience the content. And then what confused me the most was when I brought up the conversation saying, well, I feel like I've scaled back too far now because my original intent was to have the player and Frisk go on the same adventure, but the player be feeling as though the Frisk at certain points. So we see Frisk's interactions normally how we would, but the players, they're doing the same interactions, and we swap out. So you'll see player at some points, Frisk at others, and the idea is to show off, you know, obviously the character possession, but then also to have the players' comments on the situation and try and learn a little bit more about them as well, while we're seeing Frisk do other things. So it's not just always about Frisk. And when I mentioned I dialed back the player to the point where they weren't in it anymore, the comment I got was like, well, what's the point anymore? Because it's just Undertale in 3D, and that's kind of boring because everybody knows Undertale's pacifist story already. It just being in 3D doesn't make it that entertaining compared to actually having this unique element. And that got me thinking again, and I was like, dude, what am I even doing here? Why am I dialing back on something? Just because, you know, like, a few fans have give me bad or negative feedback because they don't like an idea I've got. You know, at the end of the day, this is something that I started because I wanted to do and I wanted to explore it. And I've been that worried about upsetting people. I've dialed back way too much, you know, so hearing that from somebody else, no joke, it made me almost cry, because I'm sat there and I was thinking about it, and I'd been upset kind of already that I was getting negative feedback to begin with, primarily because of how much effort I'd put into everything. And then I'm just thinking to myself, dude, you've given up way too much ground here, you know, and just to hear somebody turn around and be like, dude, yeah, this is good, we like the unique part, but we don't like that you're giving up ground to the unique part. That was like, okay, I need to go back, I need to recorrect this, you know. So I put out a post about it a little bit, and quite a few people have said the same thing, which is, dude, just keep your original idea. And I like that because I don't think I've actually seen that much support for the player being in the story until now. So it's nice, you know. Hey Sky, double down, it's your dream. Always respect your original vision. Also consume the child, says John. Yeah, no, it was the interesting thing for me out of all of this, especially because of this being another creator, was to hear it from them more than, and it sounds terrible, but like, hearing feedback like that from a lot of people or a creator is a lot better than hearing like a little bit of negative feedback and then being like, maybe I should adjust here. Maybe I should just adjust a little bit more here, you know? And you could hear it. If you go back in multiple streams, you can hear me first say, you know what, we'll have more of Frisk than the player. Then I'm like, only the player in emotional bits. And then I'm like, maybe the player can just be in Frisk's shadow, you know? Maybe they're just a shadow. And I was thinking of ways to implement this stuff all the time so I could actually keep up with these ideas. And then I'm thinking to myself, this is literally just Undertale in 3D. What makes this special? And the kicker for me when I was having this conversation was the person literally turned around and went, dude, it's on the freaking poster that you made. It's not Undertale in 3D. It's Immersiontale. It's an AU. It's something that's separate. You made it that to begin with. People don't understand. You need to make that more clear. And I'm like, yeah, I've done this wrong. I've just not made it clear enough. So going back and doing that now is my top priority, making it clear of what the unique selling point is and just making sure people actually like that, you know. Because I really don't want to give up, especially because, like, or rather, I don't want to give up on that part of the project, especially because it's supposed to be not just for Undertale fans, it's supposed to be a little bit for myself and a little bit for the people that are on my private Discord, because a lot of them don't care about Undertale, but have shown interest when I put the player character in there, because it's something, like, it's a perspective that they would have, or they would like to see the comments from the player, you know, rather than just see Frisk's story. Because otherwise they could just go play Undertale if they wanted to. So it's really interesting getting all this feedback and just being like, yeah, no, I need to go with the original thing and really stick with it. So I was getting confused a lot recently. Like, just being like, seriously, how much do I go in with Frisk now? Like, what was I even doing? And the best part, and I hope Sailor's still here for this, the best part was before when I talked to Sailor before, because I was trying to think again and really clear my mind because of all this jumble recently with me being ill. And no joke, when I was ill, I was that bad, I really started getting confused in my own headspace. I was thinking stuff, but it was just complete nonsense. So I'm still kind of recovering this week, so it's still a bit of a jumble. And I was like, what was the original sale again? And I was telling people on my own Discord, it's kind of like, you know, like a buddy cop thing where you have the two of them go through, or at least I think I want it like that now. And then I was mentioning to people before in the Undernet and different Undertale worlds, I was like, so anyway, do you still like this idea, right? And Sailor, I mentioned to Sailor about it, and I was like, look, you know, what do you think about the player and Frisk going on the journey together? It's like, well, the player's possessing Frisk, right? They're going to be there, but they're not there, kinda. You know, it'd be weird if they were there at the same time. And that immediately snapped me out of it, made me more focused. I'm like, yep, no. I need to go back to the original idea of them swapping roles frequently, because that made way more sense. So it'll also help for action scenes as well, because I can mix up the easier parts to animate with Frisk and the harder character animations with the player model, which is way more suited for harder animations. You know, so it's great, you know. Hey Alvin, nice to see you. So I'm gonna stop playing this game before I tidy up, otherwise I'll be on it all night, says David. So it was really good to hear all this feedback and get my brain in gear again, I suppose you could say. How's your day? I'm doing a lot better than I have been, Alvin. So yeah, it's been great, thank you very much. I just need to get these done. So another thing that's going on, like I was saying, what's been happening is I've been preparing a demo for the new Under Event Reject event, is the best way of putting it. Basically, everyone that got rejected from the recent Under event made their own Discord, put all the fan projects together in one Discord so you can see where they are, and then turned around and went, yeah, we need a trailer by Halloween, and you need to have a proof of concept for that trailer by the end of July. And I'm like, thinking to myself, this isn't feasible here. And the reason why is because, like, one, obviously, like I said, I was confused. And two, I'm still building certain things. And I was like, I'm not so sure I should go in for this event now. You know, so I'm actually thinking of holding off on the event and not going for it at all. And just kind of doing my own thing, because, like, it's going to sound slightly arrogant, but I've never felt like I've needed these events to grab people's attention. While they would be good at getting more people's attention to the project, which helps, it's not a necessity, and I don't think I should rush stuff at the moment, because, and I'm not going to show you anything, but let's put it this way, right? I was telling Sailor before in VR, the stuff that I'm working on now, I actually went back and looked at the original trailer, you know, that I put out for all you guys, the one that we show memes constantly, and memes has been tormented by it so much. I went back and looked at that, and I was like, holy crap, the jumping quality is insane, you know, between when I started this project to now. And then I went back and watched all my older animations that started this entire thing that are now 2 years old. And because it's obviously, like I said, if you've watched the other streams, you'll know it's part of like a mini-series, and it's the big end to a mini-series. I watched those other animations that got us here, which are only really small from like 2 years ago. And even they're terrible. Like, there are a lot of good ideas that are well executed, but a lot of the animation is like in slow-mo and stuff, and I was trying to think about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's on an old computer that couldn't handle it, and it's all rendered at 24 frames per second, and I was just about learning how to animate and do effects and get used to Blender and stuff, so it makes sense that it's not as good, but when I tell you the jump in quality is absolutely insane, I'm not even exaggerating, you know. It's stupidly good. It's still not the most fantastic thing I could ever make it yet, because I've not pieced it all together. But the best part about this is, by taking my time and slowly working on things and brushing up on animation as well and making sure I'm happier with the animation, especially at the higher frame rate, it looks so much more smoother and clean, and all the details look fantastic, and it's not just assets that I've stolen from like Gmod or whatever, or, you know, thrown in, and all the textures look really pixelated, and oh my god, you know, it's nuts. And that tone was very British. The funny thing is, sometimes people do forget I'm British, primarily, and I blame this on the fact that when I used to do games design in college and university, or even before then, I used to play with a lot of people on Halo, and most of them used to be American. So, other than like 3 or 4 people, I was playing with a lot of Americans, so I've kind of worked that into my speech just a little bit. So it's funny, you know, it's a little bit funny because it makes me sound a little bit American. But yeah, like, the jump in quality, man. And then on top of that, the most insane thing now is like getting the rest of the underground properly detailed. Like here now, I'm doing Fallen Down, right? And Fallen Down, again, people will be like, Sky, people will be like, dude, why are you doing Fallen Down? And I joked before with Sailor, because Sailor was like, dude, this looks as though you're constantly upping the quality, which means you're having to go back and make stuff over and over and over again. And it's funny thinking about that, because it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. But it is funny with people's perception of that, where it looks like I'm constantly going back and redoing things. It's like, when is he going to ever finish this? But the reason why I'm doing Fallen Down here... Oh, and making giant rocks from Klonoa appear. Whoa. What the heck are they? Oh, they're over there. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want this to look the best it can. Wait, what? Why is... What? Hang on a sec. View end. Oh, that's why! There are even bigger rocks in the background, on top of the other rocks. Okay, can we just... Bam! I must have already imported these and not. Okay, so let's see. It's crazy how your animation was back then and how its differences, Alvin. Thank you very much! I think it's... You know what's funny, Alvin? Somebody called me. It was Creeper. For anyone who doesn't know Creeper, he's a guy that does realistic sans stuff in VR chat. He's a pretty friendly guy who's also British. And I was messing around the other day in VR chat when it was recovering still. Like on Monday... Yeah, Monday evening? It's Tuesday now, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday because I accidentally missed what would have been one of the last VA sessions. I'll get round to that in a bit as well. Because... That's embarrassing for me. I missed a voice acting session that was really important because of me doing all the stuff. But anyway, yeah, I was with Creeper and we're just chilling, and he turns around to me and he's like, "Moody, just wondering, are you British?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm British." And somebody else next to me, like Connor, was like, "Yeah, he's British. Why?" And he goes, "For some strange reason, I thought you were Swedish or German." And I was just like, what? No. So, that was funny. But yeah, no, getting back on topic. I just realized I need to make sure I've got the textures for all of this. Or maybe just, like, proto-place everything. British German. The thing is, I don't think I've actually talked to Creeper in person like this before. So, I don't know where he got that from. But it was just funny. But yeah, let's talk about this other stuff. So, because of me being ill, I couldn't do shopping. So then, yesterday, I went and did shopping for the baby to get her food that she needs because she has baby formula. And then today, I realized we didn't have any food for actually us to eat. So it's like blistering hot weather. And I had to run out. I had to leave the baby with Jen and run out and get food. And when I went out, by the time I'd got back, it was the end of this VA session that I was meant to do. And the VA session was literally for the last set of lines for Asriel, because I got lucky last week and the Rogue, the person that voices Asriel, came back and was able to do the lines after having a lot of stuff to do themselves with their own family life. And I'm like, okay, we'll do the lines for Asriel. I'll meet you next week, because it's always on Tuesday and always at a certain time, just to make sure that we've both got time in our schedules to do stuff. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it. And then, yeah, I totally messed up by being out when I needed to be in and recording Asriel's final lines, because we've actually got the final fight done now. It's literally just the very end where it's young Asriel again. It's just those lines. And then we have all of Asriel's lines done. And obviously for people who know the game, Asriel is massively important. So it's like, after that, I think I'm only waiting, apart from the special characters that are currently being modeled, I'm only waiting on Frisk for obvious reasons, Kara, because I'm planning Kara's lines, and Alphys, because Blur, or Two All-Nighters, has a very busy schedule, so I need to actually check up. But once Alphys is done, that's like all the main characters checked off, and then I just have to go back and make sure everything is fine. And then after that, we are done with the entire main cast, which is insane thinking about it, you know. So that's progress. And then, like I was saying, I've just been cooking, and by that, I should really clarify. I just realized, what is Kara's role in the movie? Okay, so I think we need to ask Moody to say potato in German. Wait, what? Cooking, you got ramen? I wish I had a nice bowl of ramen right now. But yeah, the Kartoffel is that. Huh. But yeah, what's been happening is, can Dave Katz... Wait, what? What happened was, when I did the Kingdom Hearts streams, the whole idea was to try and copy and also use the textures from that to create the effects that looked very similar to the game, because I could just get them really easy from the game's files. So the process was, I go online, I find a program that dumps all the source files, and then I just have the entire thing on my hard drive twice, basically, once to play and once to look at. I look through everything, decide what I need for certain things, and then I just recreate them. And when I was trying to do that, sure, it's hard to look around the Kingdom Hearts files, and it took me like a day or so to figure out how everything is archived. I might even do a little bit for the next dev video, you know, like showing how you navigate around them, because this is going to be part of that update anyway. Like the next update I do, oh my god, that's going to be nuts, because that's going to have the trailer after it as well. But this is all still part of the core update, essentially, which is getting the last little bits done. So that's why it's taking so long. But when I couldn't do the effects as well as I thought I could for things like fire and lightning, I thought a lot of those effects are for really important scenes, for like Asriel shooting lightning at you, or Toriel and Asgore throwing fire at you, or setting things on fire, or whatever. And I needed those effects to be really good. And what I ended up doing was, because I'd got a little bit of money left over, I went on Blender Marketplace and found some really good effects that were pretty much drag and drop. For the most part. This is where it gets funny, right? So I go in, I look at these effects. They're pretty easy to use. They're more or less exactly what I wanted to do from the Kingdom Hearts stuff, but they look really crisp and cinematic. And I'm like, I need those. I looked at them. They're within budget. They're not even the same price as a full, you know, brand new video game or even an indie game. They're like less than $40 if I remember rightly for the entire thing, which was like 3 different effects packs. So I started trying to mess around with them and get to using them. And some of them were a bit awkward because they weren't just drag and drop. It was like certain versions of Blender I had to install and then figure out how the demo files were set up and then how I would drag and drop them in. Because sometimes when you drag and drop them in, they don't work as the user intended. So you're having to mess around with things. And it's taken me a little bit of time to figure out how to use each one how I want. But I'm slowly getting to the point where when I finally drop this trailer, it's going to look the absolute best I can possibly, you know, make it. Hey, Floral! Nice to see you. I've not actually ever seen you in a stream. That's awesome. So, okay, for anyone who's wondering about Floral in chat now, Floral, I don't think I've talked to in person, only in text, but Floral's actually the one person that got me started off with everything in terms of like being able to be trusted from the Undernet, and Floral's also the same person that let me borrow Asgore, Asriel, and all of the amalgamates as well. So Floral's actually a really big part of the project. It's actually really nice to see you, Floral. Especially in stream. Like, I would not have this much trust in me from so many people if it wasn't for Floral. So yeah. So yeah, I'm getting really emotional now. But yeah, I'm messing around with all these effects, and it's really cool because like I'm figuring out how lightning works and how fire works, and integrating that with all the other stuff that I've done so far, and working out on all these other various effects, and they look so good. And I'm thinking to myself, don't cry, Dave. I'm noticing, I don't know whether it's partially because I now have an actual little bit more empathy, which makes me sound like a psychopath, or whether, you know, it's just because I'm getting older, but I do tend to be opening up a little bit more to people, you know. It's a good thing, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know which one it is. Oh, let's think. We go in here now. Let's have a look here. The thing is, I should be keeping... Oh, no! No, I'm gonna have to put, like, some grass over there or something to camouflage that. Because the idea was to have that merged with there. And then the interior of the cave section. And then I can just, like, fill it all with geometry nodes and stuff. Because I'm almost I'm almost done with the remake of Fallen Down, which I have to... I'm gonna tell you how this happened. So, the original version of Fallen Down, for those who will be able to notice it, is that it was taken from an MMD mesh, and that was already put into like Gmod and stuff, and I think it's been used in various other like places, even in VR chat. And it was, again, originally for MMD, or Miku Miku Dance, and then people have just converted it everywhere. And I originally used it because funny enough, when I first started the project, I did not want to model anything. I just wanted to focus on the animation, because I've said to people it's animation practice. And then what ended up happening was, obviously, over the course of things, things have changed. So I go and try to edit Fallen Down today to make it better, to make it more detailed, so I can control things and make the textures better and stuff like that. And what I find is that this MMD model, because I've imported it, and because it's been messed around with so much, it is absolutely broken. Like, there's two different versions of the mesh for no reason, just sat on top of each other. There's a bunch of geometry that makes no sense or just looks ugly, and it just ended up being the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. And I was trying to get it to work, like, as in something that I could work with for a little while, and that was just not happening. And I realized I know why this isn't working either. It's because I've not matched up the geometry and then welded it back to each other or joined it. But yeah, the geometry was just so ugly, and I'm thinking to myself, oh god, this is terrible, I can't work with this. So I ended up having to remake all of Fallen Down again, which, admittedly, the way that I'm doing this, it's not too hard, and it's pretty basic. I'm just going to be putting some geometry nodes in later on and texturing it, but at least I have more control than using the MMD version. Like, I'll show you how broken the MMD version was while I'm trying to not weld every single vertex next to each other. But yeah, oh god. Talk about disgusting. It was one of the most disgusting fix jobs I've ever tried to do on a mesh. And shit. And then the remake looks good. So the remake is pretty much similar to the MMD version, but then I've added this bit on top of, because we're only going to film up to here. Flowey's going to be in a totally different part. But yeah, the idea was to give it this extra door and make it look more detailed, include the redone geometry, which looks better, which obviously we won't be looking... Oh no, we might actually be, so I need to do the tops here, which is no big deal. But then once that's done, I can put my new flowers in here, the new vines, and we can put the extra rocks in, and it'll look way better. We can put new textures on it, do all those details and things. It'll be way better, and it's actually bigger as well, just slightly. It's got a raised center like the one from VR does. And just the more control and knowing what actually goes where, and have everything be placed and not in Japanese is nice as well. If people don't know Miku Miku Dance, it's a Japanese-based program for animating Hatsune Miku and various other things. So it's like, what ends up happening is a lot of people will export models from it, and it'll just be semi-broken when it comes out of Miku Miku Dance, and it'll take a while to fix things. And that can cause issues like this now, where you saw all of these are tries, none of the verts are welded to each other. For those who don't know 3D, this will mean nothing to you, but essentially it's jargon for, it's a mess, it needs fixing, it ain't pretty, and if I don't pretty it up, it's gonna stay a mess. So it's like, oh no. So, I'll show you in a moment and tell you the problems on the original version is. It's funky, to say the least. Let's see if this works and looks okay. Ah! Yeah, no, I'll take that. That looks nice. I'll probably have to do that with the other pillar, but the whole point being I ended up retexturing these with my own textures. So they look better. The texturing is a very short job, so of course... Hey, Lucy! The texturing is a very short job, so of course that's easy. You started to sound like Gordon Ramsay when he does a bad dish. Also, another funny one that I found is when I put out the image of Greg. For those who didn't see Greg, Greg is the nickname that I've given to the spider in the ruins at the moment that shows, well, gives Frisk the spider donut. When I put the image up, like the teaser image of Greg, and I said, look, this is Greg, I put it up on quite a few Discords. So many people were just like, oh my god, hi Greg, this is awesome. So yeah, Greg is apparently a fan favorite now. So yeah. I animated Greg, then I rendered him off, and then I actually watched it over and over again, and Greg made me very happy because he looks so cute. So for anybody that's worried about the spider bits, don't worry, I'm trying to make them look as cute and funny as possible without them actually looking like proper spiders, apart from the walk cycle. So yeah, you'll see some funny stuff from the spiders. What are you, Dave? But yeah, here we go. I'm going to show you the bad version of Fallen Down now before we finish up a little bit, and then I can do the rest of this like some other time. So, this is the version of Fallen Down that you guys have seen, the famous one that I've used in the trailers multiple times, and if I can get it off grayscale, you'll be able to tell that, you know, it's the one that we've used, and I've taken out Frisk here in this one, right? Yeah, Greg is not Nightmare Fuel, and none of the spiders will be Nightmare Fuel, not even Muffet herself. Muffet's got that, like, if you've seen the animations for Muffet, like the test ones that I did, Muffet has that kind of, like, very high and mighty, I think I'm amazing and I'm God's gift to everybody, kind of, like, princess sort of vibe. You know, this is the thing from the trailer, says Alvin. Yeah, it is. She has that, I'm trying to think of what the name of it is. There's, like, it's a very kind of, like, posh princess thing. It's an anime meme or an anime trope, but Muffet has that kind of, like, energy to her in the animation test. So she will never be anything other than a character that emanates that kind of thing, but just has spider-like features. And it's the same with, like, the spiders. I want them to be very silly so that you can look at them and laugh and go, oh, they're cute, without going, oh god, there's like a million spiders everywhere. Instead, I want people to be more laughing at them and having a good time, you know. So it's going to be fun when I get to the spiders and Muffet. But yeah, here we go. So this is the trailer area. This is the trailer version of Fallen Down that even has the moving grass and everything. And this is just the original animation that I did where we show off like the credits and everything. You can still see the old pillars there, which are the same ones that I just had, but these ones aren't textured. These have got MMD textures, right? I love spiders. I have 2 tarantulas as pets, says Pitman. Oh, nice! Nice! Maybe I'll show Greg then? Like, just the non-spoiler version, you know, where it's got no textures on it. Because I love that Greg animation. It's so simple, but so cute. But yeah, here we go. So, this looks nice, but the only reason it looks nice is because I think mainly the grass and the lighting. What I've noticed in 3D is, or rather, what I've noticed when doing the project is that obviously lighting is a big part of 3D anyway, but you can make something that looks pretty simple, look good with minimal details if you give it decent lighting. So I've been spending a lot more time throughout the project looking at lighting, seeing how good I can do things, and doing it realistically, but then obviously in certain areas compromising and being like, okay, I need a little bit more here, a little bit more here. And the later stuff obviously looks way better than this as a result now. with the fake sky being up there as well. It's literally just a flat plane with a texture on it. But this is the old version, right? And the reason why I say this version is inferior to the new version, even with the new version having no scenery in, is this, right? This is the geometry for Fallen Down, the MMD version. If we just ignore this for the moment. This is ripped directly from MMD, and then somebody's put it in Gmod, and then I've just taken it from Gmod and I used it for the trailer. And what's bad about this, from my standpoint anyway, is that when we look at the wireframe here, if you're talking to somebody about this in 3D, and you're saying what's wrong with it, these are all tries. Tries, as I've said before, are not really amazing to work with, especially if you just want to look at something simply in 3D. Like, you try and avoid tries. I've mentioned this before, it's good practice to avoid them. Mainly because then you can use stuff like subdivision pretty easily, which makes everything really high detailed. But we try and avoid tries where we can. Sometimes it's incredibly hard to, but you'll have heard me in multiple streams complaining about tries, trying to make sure they don't appear in any of my models, or if they do, they're really out of the way where nobody's going to see them. Because they also impact shading as well. So if I have a problem with shading, it's probably because there's a stray try messing me around. Now the problem here is as follows. It's not only just that we have tries that are welded together in weird ways. As you can see, we have some that we can just turn into quads, which are 4 points rather than 3. That's why we call them quads and tries. Tries are 3-pointed planes. Quads are 4-pointed. Well, all these, or most of them, here, are actually quads or can be turned into quads by getting rid of that middle line, which gets rid of the 2 tries that make up a quad. The problem is, when we start getting up here, it's an absolute mess, this geometry. The way that somebody has modeled this is they must have, like, gone and put as much detail in as possible, dragged all of this down to make it look like the cave interior from the inside like this, because these are just vertices or points dragged down, and then they've just gone, you know what, it's fine, you know. So that's ugly for a start. Alvin says, I need to go, bye bye, be safe. Thank you very much, Alvin, stay safe, nice seeing you again. But not only, you know, is like this ugly up here, but then for some strange reason there are 2 versions of the mesh. I don't know whether it's because of MMD or not, or Gmod, but what's happening is there are actually 2 versions. One's on the inside, and then there's another version of the same mesh on the outside, making it way more complicated to fix, and thus you have to delete the copy on the outside to then fix the inside. And then if you try and do anything about, say for instance, this door here, which is a total mess. It looks like a cave entrance from over here, but you can already see again, it's an absolute mess in terms of how it's done. It's just not worth messing around with or using anymore. It looks ugly, and trying to put textures on it and do anything that looks remotely good with it, it's just painful. It's just painful to work with, as Lucy's put, you know. And you can see how much extra detail they've put in for seemingly no reason as well. You know, I've only put like a few different insets here, which are these rings, just to provide a little bit of support for if I need to do anything like raise the interior. But they haven't even raised it. You know, they've not even raised the floor for that extra detail. I'm sure whoever modeled this to begin with put in a lot of effort on their own, and when they put it into MMD, the source file did not look so bad. But it has just gone really painfully bad. I'm sure I can find this on DeviantArt actually and find the original creator and just ask them about it, because I would love to find out what happened. But again, this is part of the problem, and one thing that I find fascinating actually, part of the problem with doing stuff and borrowing other people's stuff in 3D is seeing problems and being like, okay, I can either fix that and it'll take a little bit of time, and sure enough, sometimes it works. I fix things, and they look great. They serve the purpose I need them for. Or other times, I can look at stuff like this and go, you know what? I've spent like an hour doing this. It ain't worth it. Let's just recreate the thing. You know, people are going to joke about it, and it's going to be a good laugh for everybody, but it's not worth it, man, you know. So, going back to the other one and just being like, okay, Falling Down EX, my version, simple. It's going to be easy to put together. It's going to look more or less the same when I'm done, if not better. And at least, you know, I can be happier with this one. It's easier to look at, and it's easier to make out what's going on with it. I still need to actually carve the walls by hand here later on as well, so that those rings, all of those rings are justified. You know, it's at least this one is a lot easier to work with visually. You know, you sound like a hippie when you said it's not worth it, man. It's just not worth it, man, you know. So, that's another one of Dave's lectures on just like whether it's worth actually doing something and doing it yourself and being happy with it, you know, or, you know, borrowing somebody else's and having to put up with all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm gonna make those pillars though just a little bit bigger. You did it again. I know, I did it deliberately. But yeah, then we got Greg. I'll put Greg back on for those who haven't seen. Hopefully I can do that without Greg showing up properly. There we go. So Spider Demo 1 doesn't have textures on it. So we can see Greg. Gonna head to bed, says Damon. Night. Thank you very much, Damon. Hope you've enjoyed. So here's Greg, right? This is Frisk ordering the spider donut, or rather receiving the spider donut. And this is without the effects on the soul. But yeah, here we go. So here's Greg. I love that. It's so simple. It's so simple, but it's so cute. That's the kind of thing I'm going for with all the animations. What I did was I looked at someone's breakdown of how they would actually animate a spider and how a spider's legs move and the way that it works. I think I've shown it before. Did I actually save the file as Greg? Greg. No, I search up Greg and I get Greater Dog. Let's try Spider. Because I know I saved the spider. There we go, Tiny Spider Walk. So, this is what I ended up animating for the walk cycle. And while, yeah, to some people that does look creepy at the moment, I think, slow it down a little bit for Greg climbing up the back of the sign. There is one of these that's like climbing around the ceiling, but it's not too bad. But I didn't want it to look too creepy, but I also did want it to be accurate to a spider walking. So I actually went and looked at a breakdown of how spiders walk, and then just copied that as in like the way that they should walk with the legs moving, kind of mirroring each other on both sides, and how they do this. It was a really nice tutorial to look at. I might actually have to go back and find out who did it and then put them in the credits, because I've mentioned, like, I'm trying to credit everybody in terms of, like, reference and where I got the models from, and if anybody's done any artwork for me. You know, like, every little person I want to try and credit, because I think that it's fair. You know, I've actually got an asset list on my own Discord that shows... Oh, sorry for Nightbot, by the way. Sorry for Nightbot. If anybody gets told off by Nightbot, that's just because of last week's weird spam, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream. For anyone who doesn't know, or who's just come in, or who might have come in with like the past half an hour, oh, Nightbot won't respond to you. Nightbot won't respond to you. Nightbot is an automated system that is doing moderation for the streams. And all it's there essentially is, it's like the bouncer at the door for a club. And as long as you're not crazy, as long as you're not nasty, Nightbot will be fine to you. But if there's one word specifically that was overused last week, I'm not going to mention what it is so people don't just start saying it. Because if you do, you risk getting banned by Nightbot, not me, Nightbot. Because last week was like cringy memes, weird humor that I couldn't understand, and stuff that sounded slightly racist. And I've never had that before, and I didn't want it continuing. So basically, Nightbot's there to stop that. I literally just caps. Nightbot is an AI. It can't tell the difference between, like individual users. So it will be trying to get used to things at the moment. I'll try and edit the settings a little bit more in future. What was racist? Somebody was mentioning about, I can't remember, it was mentioning about people of color, but in a very seemingly derogatory term, and they kept doing it over and over and over again. So yeah. Raphael's got the good idea as well of actually not mentioning the meme, because like if you mention that, it's down as a keyword. That's the one that gets you immediately banned. Yeah, that's the one that gets you immediately banned. And I don't want anybody to try that in chat, because you just know that because the AI is here, it doesn't know if you're joking or not. So you could just be like, oh, it's just a joke, I'll just say it. You'll immediately get banned. So just don't. It's not worth it. If you enjoy the streams, it ain't worth you losing the streams, But yeah, anyway, that's that explanation. Either way, this is just what I did for the walk animation for Greg. And the bounce was a little thing I added at the end because I thought it'd look cute. And yeah, it adds to it. So, spiders will appear more in the ruins now as a result. I want them to appear more. And as well as all the usual monsters that you might see that I've got access to. And that's just because they're cute, because we know spiders live in the ruins anyway. Just I don't think they should be restricted to a certain point. Like the spider bake sale. So I'm going to have them wandering around a little bit. I might even have one in like Toriel's place. Moody, this is alt account testing the ban, says Fortnite Man. Wait, whose account is testing the ban? I'm just wondering whose alt account that is. Averages. Don't bother just in case. Oh. Shoulders. A bit funny today from carrying the baby so much. Oh. But yeah. It's going to be fun because, like, the ruins is just going to be real nice. It did nothing. Should do. Let's have a look. Nightbot. Filters. Blah, blah, blah. Let's have a look. Integration. Commands. Let's have a look here. Custom. Show commands. Nope. Should be spam protection. Yeah, it's enabled. Let's have a look. Options. Yep, it's enabled. One per line. You use an asterisk? Okay. Yep. Oh, let's have a look. It did nothing. Your bans didn't even ban me. Still nothing even when it caps. Well, I mean, I'm not seeing them. Is anybody else seeing them? Like, I'm not seeing the messages. Like, if those messages are supposed to be coming up, I'm literally not seeing them on my end. Maybe it did work. Like, I am literally not seeing those messages at all. That's the thing. Just asking chat now, is anybody else seeing the, I see him speaking, but nothing else, says Shark Lucy. Maybe it's working then, yeah? So, here's one for everybody coming into chat now, because back on main, no, they don't pop up. I think it's just block keywords instead of banning. I mean, that's fine for the moment then. Sans is here. Hey, Sans. So, this is one for people coming in now as well. I need to actually just quickly see if I can import the rocks here so I can get those done. What people are coming in? I recently was trying to clear my head, I suppose you could say, and get feedback on the project, because there's been some pretty, I wouldn't say like crazy negative feedback, but there's been at least some to the point where it was concerning, and I just wanted to get your opinion on stuff. I got banned from Grillby's. No! So, the way that Immersiontale works as an AU is that the player and Frisk both experience the journey through Undertale's true pacifist route, right? But what's happening is they're both swapping positions, or rather, what Immersiontale is about is the player believing they're in Frisk's shoes doing stuff when it's not really them, it's Frisk. So what we have is scenes where Frisk will be in, and then other scenes where the player will be in, and it'll obviously be a completely different character. So you won't be seeing Frisk all the time, but it's still Frisk's actions. What I want to know is, are you okay with that? Is that okay? You know, like, what do you think? Because I'm not willing to fall back on my idea as much as I have been. And I just wanted to get a little bit of feedback on it. Because essentially it's them sharing the role and being active in the story at the same time, while also getting a new perspective on things. Why no genocide, though? It's neutral we're having. Neutral where you have to have... Is the art still open? Yeah, art's still open. I like the idea from the start, says Sammy. That's good. That's good. The reason why there's no genocide is strongly tied to the player's story. So that'll get revealed later on. But yeah, basically... Oh. Nightbot. Nightbot's like, excuse me? But yeah, there'll be no genocide run because of that. Because it's more about the player and Frisk's pacifist route. The pushback I got was along the lines of, so wait, this is Undertale in 3D? What's the point originally? And then it slowly grow into, wait, why is there another character there? Why is it not Frisk? What, we need Frisk here. Where's Frisk? Okay, Frisk's there. Who's this other guy still? And it's like, I understand people's concerns, But at the same time, that's the unique element, is seeing that new character and wondering what their story is, and that's also why there's no genocide route, is because of that character. You know, so it's like, if there wasn't that element, it wouldn't be Immersiontale, it'd just be Undertale True Pacifist route in 3D. You know. Where's Papyrus? Oh, we got Papyrus. Papyrus is in here. Hang on. Oh no, the only problem is, I just realized, I can show you Papyrus animations from ages ago, but I can't show you Papyrus at the moment because Snowden's bugged. I actually have to fix Snowden. I just realized it's going to be interesting to see. Oh my god, Papyrus running sped up in 30 frames per second is going to be so funny. So this is what I originally animated, right? For Papyrus's run. Really exaggerated? Is it? Oh no, it's broken his textures! No, Papyrus. Hang on. Still data, find missing files. Can we just... Character files? Where's Papyrus? Where is he? Asriel, no. Frisk, Toriel, Papyrus! Buy him, can we? Hey, there we go. He zooms. So here we go, right? So that's 24 frames per second. But it's... Blur, by the way, how are you doing? Because I was actually going to check up on you anyway. Everything's going so good right now in terms of like development and stuff. Let's see. Oh, somebody's mentioned me on one of the other Discords. Ah, okay, no, it's nothing. Gonna get some done tomorrow. Actually, I finally have a recording. Oh, thank you very much. Then, thank you very much in advance. For those who don't know. Two All Nighters or Blur is voicing Alphys. And has been for some time. And it's amazing because I still need to do the blooper reel. The first blooper reel. Just ignore Nightbot. Just ignore Nightbot. So yeah, here we go. I'm gonna Papyrus in 30 frames per second. Oh my god. Yes, I just need to potentially animate that cape a little bit better. I love the way he just looks so much faster now. Sans is like, my house is on fire in chat. Papyrus is like running away like mad. The best part I like about this is after animating Papyrus like this, we can just like totally have him running in the 90s here. Hang on. Imagine him running like this fast. Oh my god, that's 60? 60 might be better, right? And then we just go... It's gonna be so much fun to do. How fast is he gonna go here if I just do this and go interpolate? It's gonna be funny for you guys. Oh no! He needs to continue the animation to 60. Hang on. Bam. Bam. Oh, it's always so funny. So check this out, right? If we try and get Papyrus just like running to the screen, that's gonna be so funny. There he is. I really like that animation. Hang on, can we get one from behind? It's so funny with the music. Oh, I got one. I got one. A good fitting one for this. Where is it? Because we're on the Undertale Yellow soundtrack, right? We can put the chase scene from Steamworks in here. Where is it? Tread Lightly? No. Which one was it? No, not Found You. Is it that one? Oh, I want to do this for a laugh. We need to do this. Hang on. I need to do this before I end the stream. No, it's the dramatic build-up, I think. It's the one after it, isn't it? Hang on. Tread Lightly. Meltdown. Enter Axis? No, that's... that one? Nope. I'm going through like all of Axis's ones. Build about Heatwave Approaching? Maybe it is. Oh no, Corner of the Circle? Wait, what? No. Seriously, I'm trying to remember which one it is. Just Found You? Ah, there we go. Got it. Can't take this seriously. Oh my god. Oh my god. I need that again, just for a moment. Just because of that was terrifying to play in game, so I need that again. Where is it? So good. Oh my god. Did Nightbot ban me? No. Average, just stop picking fights with Nightbot. It's fine. Even better with that song, says Lucy. No, that's the chase song from Yellow, specifically at the bit where you have to run away from Axis. I want to play Yellow again now, but I also want them to keep the happy ending. But yeah, the reason why I'm just going to close the stream down is because I've got to wind down anyway. I have to get going to bed real soon. So, yeah, but for those who have just turned up, or have turned up within like the past half an hour, all you need to know is that everything's going really good. It's going to be really cool to show off the trailer eventually when it's done. Hey, Voidly! It's going to be really cool to show off the trailer when it's done. I've decided I'm not rushing anything, so any events that are coming at the moment, I might just skip, because I don't think they're worth it personally compared to our own events that we can throw, which obviously if people have seen previously, then we get a good amount of people for our events anyway, plus the videos do well. So it doesn't really matter whether we get seen by like a big event or not. Probably talk to you tomorrow, says Blair. Okay, thank you very much. That's good then. But yeah, we're probably going to miss this other event and just do our own event, and it's going to be good, and we'll have a good laugh as we normally do, and I'll put up a big update video eventually about it and stuff, and we can have a good laugh, all hang out in VR again, and yeah, it'd be great. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed. By the next time we come on, hopefully I should have Fallen Down completely done and all detailed so that you can see it in all its glory. And yeah, until then, Bye. Thank you very much.